Dan McLevin, that annoying guy for quicks.
Fritzy loves a guest. Fritzy loves a guest. Fritzy loves a guest. Now he's gonna mope around the whole weekend.
Ho, ho, ho.
We can hardly stand the wait. Please, box score, don't be late.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Paulie, to you, any pro tips on surviving your kid's Christmas concert?
Oh, well, try not to go, but that doesn't work. Sitting back, finding someone you could chit-chat with. If you're smart, you could take your own. DirecTV has an app, and other places have apps on their phones. So if you do this, see how I'm sitting, and my head's like this, and then my peripheral vision's down here, and my hand has some type of TV show or game or something going on. So just do a lot of head nodding and squinting, and then look like this a lot.
We will have some more sage advice from Paulie later in the show. But first, Urban Meyer dialed in and called DP out on one of his questions.
Can you outcoach Nick Saban in a game like this?
Oh, it depends on, I don't know, you're trying to get me a headline here. We're going to do our best. Can I? I don't know.
I think Dan felt like he asked a bad question, which he didn't ask. He just asked a question that's a fair question, but impossible for Urban Meyer to answer without opening a can of worms. But that's not Dan's fault.
But I think what he was asking was, can you win a game by coaching and scheming?
Scheming, that was the word.
And then I gave him the great idea for a different answer or question, which was, could you beat up Nick Saban, which is a great question, and I'm glad I thought of it.
Well, Urban told the boss that he doesn't get competitive when it comes to his place among coaching greats. Seton, how competitive is the Dan Patrick Show in its place with sports broadcast?
Oh, man. Well, I would say that we're competitive if it wasn't so clear that we were head and shoulders above everybody else.
How you like me now?
If there was any actual real competition in terms of another sports show, then I would be like, yeah, we are really competitive, but we've already pretty much thoroughly demolished all of them.
I know. Now the question is, are there entertainment shows that can compete with us? Is Fallon, he's doing good work? Is he in the same league with us? I don't know. I mean, maybe to throw those guys a bone and say they could compete with us, but we're just being nice.
Sometimes I'll be listening to a show and I'll be like, man, they're having a good day. Like, I listen to Le Batard's show sometimes, so quite a bit, Dan Le Batard's. And I think his is one of the freshest, most interesting shows on sports radio. And I'm like, that to me is what it's not what we do. They don't sample us, we don't sample them. But it's kind of in the same vein as I don't know what's going to happen next. And I hope our show is like that you know you're going to get something memorable and you know you're going to remember what you watched that day. When I watch or listen to Dan's show, I always feel the same way. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get. So there are other good shows out there that you tune into. But I think we're kind of snobs with sports radio. If something's average, it's a real tough listen.
Well, Paul, you mentioned the other question that was asked to Urban Meyer, and it got the man cave a little heated today.
And then Paulie goes, why didn't you ask, could you beat up Nick Saban?
Yeah, who you got?
I got Urban Meyer. Yeah, McLovin.
Yeah, but I mean, Brady Hoke could probably take all of them. That doesn't mean he's winning the game.
Okay, we're just having fun, all right? This isn't literal. Why do you got to go buzzkill on Friday? Are you happy, Fritzy? I mean, that's a Fritzy kind of move.
Because you attributed my clever line to Paulie right there, and I was a little upset.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorite questions when Dan has various guests of ours in the octagon beating up fellow coaches or players, and then McLovin threw in Brady Hoke. I didn't personally have a problem with it, but then upon further review, it looked like it put a little damper on that little moment there where we were all being silly on a Friday and having fun with just to envision Nick Saban and Urban Meyer actually, battling each other in a ring.
Dude, that didn't put a damper on anything. That was all DP. He was just like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm going to yell at McLovin, see how he reacts, and I did not react well. Sometimes he'll just test one of us for the heck of it.
Like peck at you a little bit.
Yeah, like that Brady Hoke. Was it a good line? I wouldn't exactly say it was. And also, I didn't have my hand up, and I had to scramble to say something. So, like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, huh. You know, because what I did was I did the shift. Dan came into Dan's peripheral vision. Did not need to raise my hand. And I got
nailed yesterday for that. Dan was just like, well, you raised your hand. Why didn't you have something to say? I'm like, dude, I wasn't even really paying attention. I don't even know what you're talking about right now. All I heard was my name. Yeah. Like, I definitely didn't raise my hand.
That is an issue we've been having lately in the studio, and I'm calling it the showing interest shift.
Yes.
So now stay with me for a second. Pretend I'm in my producing chair, and all of a sudden I go, because Dan has a point that I'm thinking about, but I do the shift.
Right.
It shows more interest than just,
That's my move, actually.
It is.
I grab the mic and move closer to it, and that's how Dan knows I have something to say. Unless I really want to get something in, then I raise my hand. Boom. But I usually do the mic grab and shift.
And Seton also has the move where he goes,
Yeah.
He does the head roll backwards, eyes to the sky.
That's usually then Paul going, go to Seton.
Yeah. Or Paulie can give me assists. He'll pull the Matrix. We call it the Matrix, where he pulls back like this. So Dan has a direct line of sight to me.
I lay out so McLovin's on an island of focus.
Or he'll physically turn all the way over to you and go, like, you got to get in on this.
But the problem is with the shift, sometimes the shift can just be someone passing gas, in which case you get caught on at the wrong moment.
Now, we can't ignore the potential bomb that was dropped in the middle of that soundbite, though.
What's that? What he called me
Paul taking credit for your line and that you were upset with things.
And did I take credit or was I given credit?
Okay, yes, now you were given credit.
I didn't
credit
shake
is a
off.
bit of an issue in the man cave.
Well, actually, what really happened was we had a discussion, a little look in that went out to America. Dan misquoted me to start the little thing, saying that I said something I completely didn't say. And then Paulie said the second thing. I made 2 points. The first one, he said McLovin said the exact opposite. So I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're killing me here. So that's probably why I shifted.
There is an interesting thing, though, where Dan usually gives Paul credit for pretty much everything that happens here. And then whether Paul did it or not, if you say something about, like, no, that was actually my idea, you actually get, it's worse for you to want credit for your work than it is for him to give credit to the wrong person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is kind of where you're like, no, that was actually my, oh, okay, sorry, Mr. Need credit all the time. It's like, no.
And then Dan said to me, well, the other day you said something funny and you said that Paulie came up with that line. Hello, when was that? Dan said to me earlier, you haven't had a funny line. He said you haven't had a funny line in months.
Dan has no idea.
Dan has no idea. We're just amorphous guys.
He doesn't even remember our names.
Yeah, he barely, like, one Danette is as good as any other Danette to him. He didn't care.
Paul and the other guys.
The other guys.
They are Danettes. They will steal anything that isn't nailed down. All right, stick around. It certainly felt like Friday before Christmas because it was movie day in the man cave. Welcome back to the box score. The boss was still hot and heavy on the subject of Seth Rogen's movie, The Interview, being pulled by Sony. Seton, let me ask you this. Do you guys try to steer Dan away from these heavy political topics when you can?
No. Well, I definitely don't. I love the heavy political topics. And I'll dive in all day into that stuff. I think the other guys, maybe Paulie especially, tends to go, well, let's just keep it more sports-wise. The only reason that I'm not so into the North Korea thing, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I have a hard time taking it serious in a way. I have a hard time
Seth Rogen and
yeah, because it's just like a dumb stoner movie that's going to come out. And now you know, all of a sudden, like, we're dropping as a world power or something because of it, and we're showing weakness, and we can't do that as America. And I'm like, I just don't really get it, actually. So I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it.
The only hard time I have with it is that there's no sports angle whatsoever to this story. Now, we don't necessarily need that, but for the most part, I would like some type of sports angle in almost everything we do, or we can't go too far with it. Like, if we did 45 minutes on The Interview in North Korea, we are not doing our jobs. And we are a sports radio show at nuts and bolts. And I may be a stickler, and Dan may say, oh, calm down, but I'm never going to calm down. I'm never going to tell him to not get back to sports, because that's my job, one of my few jobs here. I have a couple jobs here, and that's one of them.
And the only other analogy you can make, and that's thankfully hasn't happened yet, and hopefully it won't, is if for some reason there was some kind of threat on a major sporting event, like if all of a sudden, you know, something was said about it, you know, whether it's
game changer,
whether it's a World Series or a Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden
wall-to-wall coverage. Fritzy's exactly right. If they had somehow involved in this said, let's say let's say Sony for some reason was doing something with the Super Bowl and they threatened that, and in fact they had to pull out of their Super Bowl sponsorship, or the Super Bowl said, well, we can't be partners with Sony because of danger at the Super Bowl. Boom. Right. That's wall-to-wall coverage.
Or there was this discussion about not playing the game because there's legitimate threats that they're going to hit these
even just a hint of it, even if it's just a very, a fair news organization puts out a report like that, that to me puts an entire umbrella of sports around the entire thing and gives us license to cut loose on it.
Well, thankful to the timely and thoughtful booking by Fritzy. You guys had show pal and movie critic Richard Roper on the show, and he broke down where the interview went wrong.
I think from the start you have to say, we look historically, there's been all these movies. Look at Charlie Chaplin doing The Great Dictator. It was a different era, but it was clearly about Hitler. But, from the start, I think when you're in the meeting process, and Seth Rogen wrote this with a couple of his writing partners, I don't think you think, hey, are we going to get terrorist threats? But you think, is this the right thing to do right now? Do we do, some sort of satirical thing where it's a fictional dictator? From the start, it didn't sound like a great idea. Certainly nothing like this is ever going to get made again. It'll never get past the drawing board stage. You'll never get greenlit.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and Seton had a similar conversation about whether the movie should have been made in the first place. I think you could argue it's a racist premise that you're dehumanizing North Koreans. That they're just, which I think I read a great article in the Daily Beast about how we never thought North Korea could do something like this. The same basic flaws is that we didn't take them seriously when we made this movie. So. Part of it is it's amazing. It takes an American movie company to make North Korea sympathetic in some ways. So I don't want to get too into it because then you'll start a whole can of worms. But there certainly are. Roper said it very blatantly. A movie like this will never get made again. That's a big, strong statement.
And the other thing the other thing is how far do you go? Like comedians make racist, prejudice jokes all the time, and there's going to be a threat if this comedian says that joke. We're going to blow up wherever his next city he's going to stand up.
What if the North Koreans had their most popular movie was about going to kill Obama, and Obama got killed in the movie? We would probably
we'd be at the very least extremely uncomfortable with it. I'd like to think that we wouldn't
extremely uncomfortable. We're going to show you our extreme discomfort.
No, but would we block we wouldn't allow that? We're all about freedom of speech, and this is the country to come to where you can kind of do whatever you want within reason. And we wouldn't
let him have it, Fritzy.
So
he's watching.
They should show. I would like to think the president would, not put out some kind of order, they're depicting me getting killed, so no one can see this movie. It's got to be pulled from theaters or something.
All right. Well, Richard also mentioned the worst movie of the year was Before I Go to Sleep. Paulie, be honest. Of all the roles DP has played, which is his weakest?
His weakest role. What is he in?
You know what?
Where's he at the poker table?
Chuck and Larry?
No. See, there's one where he just doesn't get to do much.
Wasn't there one?
Benchwarmers?
When he was with Katie Holmes, he told me that some of his scenes hit the cutting room floor.
Oh. All right, well, I'm going to throw one out. I didn't actually think he was all that great in Blended. The one we just
He didn't have much content.
And he said that he was going to steal the movie, and then we watched the movie, and we were all sort
of they cut out the dancing scene.
They left a little in.
All right. And I just didn't really think there was a lot there.
He blurted something out at the Little League game, and that didn't really.
Strongest role was the top of the water slide in Grown Ups.
I'll disagree. I actually think I'm going to go House Bunny. House Bunny's probably my favorite. Small, funny scene. He plays a cop, shockingly, with Anna Faris.
Anna Faris.
I think that's a nice scene.
Yeah.
I think
so hot.
And then of course, Just Go With It is Citizen Kane.
Well, yeah, but then again, our movie, that's my boy.
We're not going to say TV's Randall Morgan?
TV's Randall Morgan.
That was a major part.
Yeah, but between Kidman and Aniston like that,
I think that's kind of assumed.
But the weird thing about, TV's Randall Morgan, it's that was a method role. You didn't know. It was is that Dan Patrick or is that Randall Morgan? I had no idea.
We were acting. We weren't just being ourselves as a TV production crew. We were
so I think people forget that was Dan because he was so into the character. So people forget about that in his canon.
Canon. Okay, stick around. It's Christmas time in the man cave.
Hosting a Christmas party at your home could be a lot of fun. It could also be a pain in the ass. Here's how veterans do it. You got good beer and you got bad beer. Bad beer for the visitors, good beer for you. Hide the good beer in a good spot, not the back of the fridge, not in some room where someone can get at it. Hide it in the snow in the backyard where only you can get it and your guests can drink beer. Happy holidays from the Box Score.
Oh, Paulie, you are just absolutely the best. We are back here on the Box Score. Last week we played a game that swept the Man Cave and the nation alike. It was called Holiday Movie or Not. We're going to use that momentum and create a spinoff called Holiday Album or Not. We're going to split the teams up. Holly McLovin and Seaton and Fritzy. The first album in question is for Team Fro Connor. Start us off. It's her 9th studio album. Jennifer Love Hewitt's 9th song effort, Love for Christmas. My favorite track, of course, has a duet with Freddie Prinze Jr. Is this an album or not?
You two, instead of Fro Connor, should be Shits.
Oh, you see that?
Fritz.
See how you mix that together?
There's no H.
Okay.
You might have to beep that.
Does Jennifer Love Hewitt sing?
I'll tell you what. Jennifer Love Hewitt definitely sings.
Yeah.
I met her once. I spent the better part of 4 hours with her.
Whoa.
Was she nice?
And yeah, she was awesome.
Can you envision her singing a holiday song?
Super hot. And
Love
she was
Jennifer.
promoting her album.
So you want to
That
go
being
with it?
said, does she have 9 studio albums?
That's a lot.
Cankles?
No chance. No way.
You say it's not an album?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
All right, we're going to say no to
Oh,
that.
you are correct. And here is it.
Oh, Connor.
What? Yes.
Oh, there they are. That lets you know you're right.
Brock.
Oh, here you go. There you go.
Brock.
Yes.
The candles.
Brock, before you even read the next clue, Paulie and I answer yes, because we know how the simple-minded producers work there.
Wow.
And they're going to start with a no. They're definitely going yes second. So we say yes.
Okay, yes to
I'm just going to
this.
say, if Andrew's wrong, we automatically win.
That's fair.
Fine. Done.
Fine.
All fair. It's got a hell of a catchy name. It's the Regis Philbin Christmas album. This 2005 masterpiece features a guest duet on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with none other than Donald Trump. You say it is an album. Is it an album?
Whoa, that's pretty obscure. We'll go with it, although I have to admit that's crazy if that actually exists.
It absolutely is an album.
A no and a yes. So what happens now?
Simple-minded producers.
Mean.
That's very mean.
Ooh, so it's a 2 yeses or back to a no?
What are you guys? How are you guys gonna call your shot?
So now wait, it went no yes.
So it's gonna be yes.
He goes a yes.
I don't think
here.
it's gonna go no yes, no yes.
Yeah, they don't want
They
to go
want
no
us to
yes.
think it's gonna be 1, 1, 1, 1.
But you said.
He
You said I
could-
think I thought it could have been.
I thought it could have been. I feel like breaking a
have it.
broken leg.
It's got to be.
It's gonna be yes. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see what we got here. It's RuPaul's Christmas collection called Ho Ho Ho. Trust me, RuPaul's version of Santa Baby, Move Over Eartha
That's a
Kitt.
yes.
It is magical. Is it an album
That is a
or
yes.
not?
We are
You
saying
say
a yes
yes,
to
it
that.
is. It absolutely is.
No yes, yes. Ooh.
No,
Three
yes,
yeses
yes.
or it goes back to no.
Brock, just to stay consistent, we, before the question is unveiled, are answering no. Now to you.
So you're gonna say it going no, yes, yes, no.
That's what
Yes.
they're
Right. That is
Okay, then
correct.
the yeses.
We're going no, and now to the question.
All right, with the question, this one's, McLovin, you might want to weigh in on this one. It's the Ally McBeal Christmas album, A Very Ally Christmas. It has cuts from Callista Flockhart herself, as well as Robert Downey Jr. and Vonda Shepard. Album or not, you said no prior to the question. We will reveal to you that it is actually an album.
Wow. No, yes, yes, yes.
You know what? If I would have had that question, once I heard Robert Downey Jr., who is a fantastic tenor,
Yes.
I would have answered yes, but
I didn't know he was on Ally McBeal.
I
Yes,
don't
he
know
was.
that he was.
Can I just say I'm proud of our producers for going 3 yeses in a row. I didn't think they had the chutzpah to do that.
The creativity level.
Yeah.
That was really just a ball.
Or even like the research work to find 3 obscure Christmas albums. That's like at least 15 minutes on the internet. I'm shocked that the producers actually took that extra.
Now I
mile.
understand why when somebody wins an award and they're like, HBO for just being so brave to take such bold
Right.
chances.
Yeah, yeah.
It's things like that that they're pointing to.
We underestimated them. That is, no one saw that coming.
All right, Team
Literally nobody.
Sitzy Fro Connor. If you're not, do you want to call your shot, or shall I give it to you?
No, we respect the producers in LA.
Okay, it's a golf
I don't
and
think we're gonna get 4
partying
yeses in a
legend.
row.
It's John Daly's album, Jesus. This one features all
God, I
original
wish that was
songs,
real.
including one named Hog Wild Holiday. Is this an album or not?
No way.
He has done an album before, but not.
No way. There's no way John Daly
It could
has
be
an
like a
album,
Hooters
Christmas album called Jesus.
A Hooters Christmas
There's
special.
No way.
Yeah, we're gonna say no.
We're gonna say that the order is no, yes, yes, yes.
Back to no.
Okay. Well, you are absolutely correct. It is not an album. And there they are, the 8 Maids of Milking. And finally, Team Paul Levin. A call on your shot, or shall I read the description?
Well, we're going to listen to you to respect the process.
Okay. It's Terry Bradshaw's musical contribution. Terry Bradshaw sings Christmas songs for the whole family. That's right. Terry Bradshaw. Album or not?
Well, let's look at this. No, yes, 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 no. Another no would make it 50-50.
Oh, is that how they do it?
Which would mean that
this is just
all the praise we gave you for creativity, we'd have to rescind.
We should go yes. Let's
I
go.
think Bradshaw's wacky enough to do it.
It's no. Sorry, gentlemen. It is actually a Christmas album released in '96.
Look at him before.
Oh, and Team Sitzy Fro Connor wins. Congratulations. We are trying to get a hold of that Terry Bradshaw album. Congratulations, guys. Speaking of embarrassing football efforts, we're closing in on the finale of our football contest. Oh, but before we go, here's this.
Whoa! This is going horribly wrong now.
What are you doing, dude?
Trying to put a graphic.
Okay. Hope you got that. Tell me you got that. I saw Christmas being ruined and saved the day.
Yeah.
Oh, we're closing up shop here on the box score. The world is filled with too much fighting, but fortunately for the world, one war is almost over. But before the fat lady sings, the battle rages on. It's time for...
The Danette Football Night in America Challenge.
I'm in last place.
America hasn't slept nary a wink in anticipation of this historic week in the hashtag BSFNC, killer hashtag bro. I am told here that the battle will conclude after the conference championships, and a BSFNC award will be given out Super Bowl week in Phoenix. And I'm also told...
Who was hosting the award show?
That is a great question. We will find that out Super Bowl week. I'm also told that this award will look something like the love child of the Stanley Cup Finals trophy and the Stanley Cup and the, I don't know, Ferrari after it's built. So looking forward to that. Now, to the contest. Ryan Lindley, Arizona's quarterback, has thrown for 7 interceptions in his 7 career games. So we're going to ask you, 1, does Richard Sherman get an interception, the second portion of the challenge? Which team will kick for the longest field goal and a bonus point given for yardage if it's correct? So, Paulie, please start us off. Will Sherman get an interception, yay or nay, and the longest field goal with yardage?
I'm going to try to, take this one home. I'm going to say yes for Sherman. I'm going to say Hauschka for Seattle. 47 yards.
McLovin.
I'm going to say no to Sherman, just playing the odds right there. And I am also going to say Hauschka, because I do not remember who kicks for Arizona. And I will say...
One of the Feelies or something?
46.
How about a point, Brock, if someone here can name the kicker for the Arizona Cardinals?
It used to be Jay Feely. Now he just got re-signed.
Now it's Upshaw.
Is it Henry? No, I don't know.
Johnston.
Seaton?
Is it one of this Grammatica brothers?
I'm going to say no for Sherman because he's overrated. And then I'm going to say Arizona with a 53.
Whoa.
Fritzy.
I'm gonna go no interceptions for Sherman. I think Lindley's gonna be too afraid to throw anywhere near where Richard Sherman is, so that's gonna keep Sherman from picking one off. And I'm gonna go Hauschka is gonna kick one for an even 5-0. He's gonna put up a 50-yarder at some point.
50 spot.
50, right down the middle. 100 to 150, of course.
I was gonna say 51.
Your ability to do that really is amazing, even accidental.
It's just a perfect opportunity to go 50.
You could not commit at a drop of a dime.
I'm going to go with Sherman. Gets an interception, maybe off a tipped ball, perhaps. And then whoever the guy is from Phoenix with a 46-yard field goal thing. Okay. That being said, Fritzy, who is on next week?
Monday, we're going to catch up with Tony Dungy, also Jeff Van Gundy, ESPN NBA analyst.
Two guests that names end in a Y. Has that ever happened before?
That's a very good question. Dungy and Gundy. That's happening on Monday. Reggie Miller is going to join
Monday
us
ends in a Y.
Tuesday. That's true. And Monday ends in a Y.
Fritzy ends in a Y.
We may hear from Mark Wahlberg next week. We may hear from Tom Jackson or Keyshawn Johnson. We may hear from Nick Saban. A lot of things floating around for a couple of days back next week.
Box Score ends in a Y, and it ends right now. Thank you for watching the Box Score. We will be back on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on Audience Channel 239. Also, if you're on the go, the podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers, everyone.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!